Dzień dobry, witam bardzo, ale to bardzo serdecznie. Kolejny epizod Zagrajmy w Genshin Impact. Tylko że na streamach zupełnie mi nie idzie przejście tej gry. Tu postanowiłem tak. 20 wychodzi Assassin's Creed nowy, Shadows. Pewnie będę w niego grał. Nie wiem czy długo, bo może się okazać, że mi się nie do końca spodoba. No ale na Xbox jest abonament Ubisoft Plus, więc postanowiłem, hej, 75 zł to mogę zaryzykować. Preordera bym nie kupił, no bo to trochę za dużo funduszy w tym momencie dla mnie, żeby tak sobie rzucać na ślepo, ale wydaje mi się, że no jak już to przetestować, ale do tego czasu chciałbym mimo wszystko przejść, a przynajmniej trochę nadrobić tej fabuły. Więc wczoraj przez cały dzień grałem w Genshina, żeby nadrobić 4 chyba akty? 3 akty? Chyba 4 akty nadrobiłem. Jest taki plan, żeby teraz dokończyć 5, bo to jest końcówka 5 aktu i 6 akt jest to aktem ostatnim. Żeby wam pokazać ten taki finał. Mięsko.
That's 𝗴𝗰𝗵 right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, 𝗴𝗰𝗵. There's no point in holding out.
W międzyczasie dużo się dowiedzieliśmy o 𝗏𝗏, między innymi to, że 𝗏𝗏𝘋𝘈, czyli father, który stoi za tymi niby złymi, chociaż na przykład Lien i Lynette są też częścią tego domu, mogła zabić, czy mogła. 𝗏𝗏𝘋𝘈 chyba to jest chyba zaimki męskie używa i father jako ksywkę, ale definitywnie po wyglądzie wygląda bardziej kobieco, więc trudno powiedzieć. Natomiast w każdym wypadku mógł zabić 𝗏𝗏, kiedy była dużo młodsza.
You were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
Więc w ogóle fajnie, że...
What do you mean, tear stains?
Więc fajnie, że jakby dowiedzieliśmy się o takich szczegółach. Nawalec, jak on się nazywał? Pamiętam jaką ksywkę. 𝗏𝗏𝘆𝘃𝘁. W każdym razie on się okazał tym legendarnym smokiem, który miał latać nad chmurami. Pamiętam, co on miał za umiejętność. Na pewno, że powodował deszcz, ale co jeszcze? Nie pamiętam już. Na początku tego aktu to było. They're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you?
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The 𝗲𝗲𝘃𝘁's over there!
Ty.
Quick, after her!
Idą z pochodniami, co?
𝗴𝗏𝗵, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
𝗴𝗏𝗵 just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Kurwa, jakby maraton robili, nie? Ja pierdzielę.
This should be the place, right? Hey, 𝗴𝗏𝗵! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to 𝗏𝗆 before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place? Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Zdaje się, że Furina trochę zeszła z tej swojej maski. To ważne. Ale musi tam jebać rybą. Ja pierdzielę.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me.
W ogóle jeszcze jest baner Furiny,
Into the sheer enthusiasm they display.
ale jakoś nie podoba mi się ta postać. Nie kupuję. Może teraz się trochę będzie lepiej zachowywała, w sensie będzie dało się ją poznać, ale taka była dla mnie sztuczna, że nie wiem. Dobra, czyli teraz przeskakujemy dalej, bo chcę zrobić takie ścinki z tego, żeby całość mieć ostatni akt, tak? Ale to jeszcze na spokojnie. To ci scena.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am 𝗏𝗏, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Niesamowite to jest, że możesz być winnym, powiedzieć, że nie chcesz rozprawy i po prostu musisz być lepsza od niej. Silniejsza.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Furina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the 𝗲𝗏 to show you her courage and resolve. I, Furina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of
Justice!
This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the 𝗴𝗰𝗵𝗃 is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the 𝗲𝗏 𝗏𝗏 will now begin!
Woohoo! Ale impreza będzie.
Now we're making
Furina just took over the whole thing. Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
A my!
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of 𝗙𝗏, my accuser and fated opponent. Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Finał Chapter, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Finał Chapter.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to 𝗴𝗏 by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean, the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
Zajebiście to wyszło.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at
Co
the
oni tam na dole? Pociąg zamontowali?
The volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between 𝗴𝗏 and Erinnyes. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Furina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry.
Then, I can guess 𝗚𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Jaka bystra.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, 𝗏𝗏, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in 𝗴𝗏. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
You guessed wrong.
Oh?
Was to give one last chance. Before magic, we hope that you share your secret with us.
Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte!
Paimon jest niepoważna zupełnie.
Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh?
Got some seawater from 𝗴𝗏. As everyone knows, a massive flood.
Okazuje się, że jest podejrzenie,
Taking many lives.
że Furina może nie być archonem Hydro, ponieważ nie używa hydromocy.
Would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we
Jeżeli jest boginią,
you are indeed the real Hydro Archon,
nic nie powinno ci zrobić.
the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse.
No czy niedotknięcie nie powoduje odwrócenia?
That after the disaster
Powoduje tylko to, że jeżeli dotknie i się rozpłynie, to to jest odpowiedź. Jeżeli nie dotknie, to nie jest odpowiedź, że jest przeciwnie, tylko że może się bać.
Navia from the 𝗚𝗲𝗍𝗔. The 𝗚𝗲 has governed 𝗴𝗏 for many years. I guess her...
If Lady Furina is indeed just a human...
Pójdzie, co? Holy fuck. Zrobi to?
Lady Furina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession.
Nie jest tym samym, ale rozumiem jego analogię.
Staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That could only mean...
What's going on? Is she really planning to... that's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk...
Umyj mordę. Tak powiedział. Proszę się rozpłynąć.
Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss 𝗔𝗠? If you're present, Miss 𝗔𝗠, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
𝗔𝗠?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss 𝗔𝗠.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Furina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss 𝗔𝗠. Lady Furina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around 𝗴𝗏. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, We don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah.
Bardzo mądrze, kurwa.
Farina's life, you secured a low concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe you...
Ciekawe, czy ona jest tą boginią? Czy tak bardzo... Nie wiem. No, to jest... Fajnie tutaj zamieszali.
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing.
Ostateczna ocena. Winna czy niewinna?
I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty. We shall now turn to the 𝗚𝗏𝗃 mechaniki d'analyse cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Not guilty będzie, co?
According to the judgment of the 𝗚𝗏𝗃 mechaniki d'analyse cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What
It can't be.
No. The 𝗚𝗏𝗃 also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences?
Taka propozycja była ciekawa.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the
Ciekawe, że ta maszyna powiedziała, że ona jest Archonem i że ma zginąć.
How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Pewnie ma dużo... Pewnie ma dużo konsekwencji i niedbanie o resztę, ale aż takie?
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the 𝗚𝗏𝗃 seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Excuse me, if I may interrupt.
Dawaj, mordo.
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water.
A to, nie pamiętam, to był brakujący?
Then, doesn't that mean I've come too
It's
late?
still not too late for you to shine.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine.
Kurwa, on przyniósł ten taki wielki kamień? Wielkości tego zioma? LOL.
believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
No zobaczymy, jak to pójdzie.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an oceanid. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin.
O!
Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of 𝗴𝗰𝗵 was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The stone slate's content can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light. Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now! So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontainians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontainians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of oceanids.
Indeed.
The second.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the 𝗴𝗰 Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
Yes.
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Well? Did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind.
Sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
czym jest to stworzenie. Widzieliśmy przez chwilę pod wodą. Braciatella przybiegł. Child. Ups.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
Yes.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Marina!
No, I still need answers.
Właśnie, jaki jest jej sekret? Wciąż się nie dowiedzieliśmy, jaki jest prawdziwy, ukryty sekret. Dlaczego ona nie używa mocy hydro w ogóle? No, tyle pytań.
You.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Furina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am 𝗏𝗏. You know, the god.
𝗏𝗏. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro-Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, As you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why 𝗲𝗲𝘅 chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the 𝗲𝗲𝘅, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by 𝗲𝗲𝘅's hand.
Yes, I was.
Na to jej skóra zareagowała na tą substancję tak samo jak reszta ludzi.
In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity, and the human counterpart I left behind, I named 𝗴𝗏. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, 𝗴𝗏's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The 𝗲𝗲𝘅 alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited 𝗴𝗏 to be an actress, to play the part of the 𝗲𝗲𝘅 in the prophecy.
Pasuje to. Wow. Wszystko się to dowiedzieliśmy po jednej kropli?
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules.
Come on, it's me.
All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you.
Nie widzę nikogo.
Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am 𝗏𝗚. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Odbicia własnego bohatera w grze. Jakie to jest teraz rzadkie, co?
𝗴𝗏.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're near me? How can
this be? Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the 𝗲𝗲𝘃𝘁 will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its 𝗲𝗲𝘃𝘁. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends, but I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward.
Wyjaśnia się? przebić. Walnij przemowę. Furina, walnij przemowę. Wiem po co to blokada kamery na fotelu na chwilę. Na tronie, sorry, nie fotelu. Fotel, tron. Każdy fotel może być tronem, nie każdy tron jest fotelem, nie?
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese.
Opera House, Furina. O, mogę biegać w końcu. Super.
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
Scena czwarta. Opera House, Furina.
Lady Furina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
Jezu, jeszcze raz.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Furina, I've waited so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
Lady Furina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Jezu, to będzie znowu to samo? Ja pierdzielę. Tego mnie chce ta gra nauczyć? Tam w międzyczasie studiowała prawo, czy co?
Lady Furina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame 𝗡𝘈, almost 20 generations ago.
Furina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth. is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the 𝗚𝗏𝗔 is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the 𝗚𝗏𝗔, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the 𝗚𝗏𝗔 take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Furina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the 𝗚𝗏𝗔. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be, accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the 𝗚𝗏𝗔. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the Seven. The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
𝗓𝗡𝗋𝗃 hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
No. Grubo, co? Okazuje się, że naprawdę ten 5. akt to jest ten finałowy. A 6. pewnie jest przejściowy między Fontaine a Natlan.
I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature.
Kto to?
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
Your master's pet?
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
Tak, widzieliśmy ją kiedyś?
Did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world. So you may speak to me as equals.
What sort of person?
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master. Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is 𝗓𝗏𝘅𝗏.
What the fuck? To?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name the Fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well,
Oh,
how about the
chyba.
𝗏𝗏 then? Or 𝗏𝗏𝘆𝗃𝘁?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rheindatter's part of the Hexenzirkel. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rheindatter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait, didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Furina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
Ciekawe, czy jej ojciec wróci. To byłoby coś.
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! Look! The water's receding!
Właśnie już się zastanawiałem, jak będzie wyglądała lokacja teraz, że cała będzie zalana wodą. Ale jednak nie.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you all right?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Geraint Snežević. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies, and is helping with our work. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward. That will have to be enough.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, Could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clarence?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callas.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material there, I bet.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh?
W ogóle mam wrażenie, że ten rozdział był tak dobry, że chyba może się nigdy nie udać mi, znaczy mnie tak, nie wiem, tak pozytywnie zaskoczyć, tak wciągnąć na maksa. Niesamowity ten rozdział jest, naprawdę. Super historia, zawiązanie, takie bardzo takie paradne, cyrkowe podejście do sztuki, przerysowanie, przepiękny świat, najlepsza eksploracja ze wszystkich rozdziałów tej gry, pływanie pod wodą i to zdobywanie przedmiotów. Świetnie to działa, naprawdę super. Najlepszy rozdział, kurde. Myślałem, że Inazuma już jest nie do pobicia, a to jest jeszcze lepsze. Masakryczne. Super to jest. No, wracamy do portu. Tu się cała ta historia rozpoczęła. O mój Boże.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Lyney and the others after working together.
Traveler, Paimon. And Miss Charlotte, too.
Właśnie też trochę nie wiem, co mam myśleć o 𝗏𝗏, Father. Jakby, czy oni są w końcu dobrzy, źli? Ta gra raczej bardzo jednoznacznie pisała dobro i zło, tak bardzo bajkowo, baśniowo. A to jest tutaj jakby taka szara strefa się zrobiła. Ciekawe mnie to, jak twórcy to przegryzą na później.
I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
You could just make a friend like 𝗏𝗏 here. Isn't that right, 𝗏𝗏?
Is this what you meant by I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Lynette sure is working hard to help 𝗏𝗏 socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later 𝗏𝗏 himself.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Of sides?
Very shocked, że zmieniła się strona.
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the 𝗏𝗈 concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Take a picture.
Kurde, rzeczywiście, w końcu została opisana jako she. Mimo, że jest father. Jest, dobra, wiem jakie są zaimki. Nice. Jest i on. Zobaczymy, co on ma do powiedzenia, skoro postacie powiedziały, że jest jakaś przemiana w jego duszy. Ciekawy jestem, co?
So, you really are here, 𝗚𝗲𝘅. Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being busy and all. Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Whoa. So that's what happened? 𝗏𝗏 destroyed the divine throne of the 𝗲𝗏𝗏 and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
What?
𝗏𝗏 must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone.
That the Fontaines were finally truly born. Sorry. Born, nie burn.
Finally managed to fulfill the original 𝗲𝗏𝗏's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Okay.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or 𝗏𝗏 deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess 𝗏𝗏 had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon...
What the fuck? Jak to jest skomplikowane w ogóle.
I will tell you the truth as I know it.
About the next stop on my journey.
You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. 𝗏𝗏 is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave that I believe may be useful to you. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a 𝗏𝗏 harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to 𝗏𝗏. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Przyszłość, tak średnio mnie to interesuje, szczerze mówiąc.
Still got a question about the gnosis. When we spoke to Lenny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the 𝗏𝗏's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you. In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named 𝗏𝗏 after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, 𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After 𝗏𝗏's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the 𝗏𝗏, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts, and my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
Wow. Ile informacji. Nice.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the 𝗏𝗏.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
Okej, czyli że woli, żeby oni się tym zajęli. Ja jestem czwartym.
I guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender. I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility.
Ej, w sumie zapomniałem o tym, rzeczywiście.
Let's not think about
My możemy używać wszystkich też, nie?
comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once child recovers, let's get some more
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focalors' efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Ale dużo informacji. Nice. Nice. O. Co teraz mamy? Już tekst. Zobaczymy. Co ona ma do powiedzenia? Czy to jest coś, co jest ciekawe dla was? W związku z tym wątkiem? Czy raczej nie bardzo? Zobaczymy. Gdzie to jest? O Jezu. 𝗚𝗵𝗵 City. Dawno tam nie byłem.
Perfect. It's you two. I have a commission here that has your names written all over it. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say you're the only ones for the job.
The only ones for the job? Huh. If our help is really that important, it's probably some Archon-class commission, right?
The Adventurers Guild doesn't employ that kind of classification system. In fact, this commission is also probably not nearly as intimidating as what you're expecting. All it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Kogo?
Huh? Then why did you say we were the only ones for the job?
I came across this commission while reviewing our backlog not too long ago. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete it have all ended in failure, despite attempts by several accomplished and renowned adventurers. With the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance of the Sumeru branch at stake, it's in our best interest to assign this commission to the adventurer with the highest completion rate over the past few years.
Well, that's us for sure.
All I'm asking is for you to give it your best shot. If it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to the commissioner about canceling the commission.
Okay, so who are we looking for? And what is it about this commission that's made it so hard to complete?
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of 𝗡𝗵𝗵 village. They say one of their own villagers has gone missing, but the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name. They can only provide information about his general appearance.
They're all from the same village, but they don't even know his name?
No trochę lipa, że szukałem gościa, którego nie wiem, jak się nazywa.
This commission? Maybe this missing villager doesn't exist at all. Could it be some sort of a prank or something?
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to issue the commission, and judging by their appearance and tone of voice, they seemed incredibly sincere. It certainly didn't seem like a joke to them. Besides, putting up a commission requires a processing fee. There aren't many upsides to a prank that costs 𝗲𝗏 to carry out. In any case, it would probably be best to go to 𝗡𝗵𝗵 village and ask around first. The Adventurers Guild does have some information on hand, but I would say anything you can learn directly from the villagers would be far more reliable.
All right then, let's go! Paimon's starting to get really curious.
Okej, ale zdaje się, że ten quest już nie jest powiązany z wątkiem Fontaine, więc zostawię was tutaj z tym. Mega dobrze się bawiłem. Rewelka po prostu. Tak w trakcie tego odcinka wspominałem, świetnie się bawiłem przy tym rozdziale i obawiam się, że to już jest tak top notch, że nie wiem, czy Natlan może spełnić moje oczekiwania. Zobaczymy. W każdym razie dziękuję. To wszystko na dziś. Do usłyszenia. No i cześć. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie mojego materiału. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało. Jeżeli wam się spodobało, pamiętajcie, żeby kliknąć kciuk w górę, zasubskrybować i kliknąć dzwoneczek. Wszystko, aby zawsze być na bieżąco. Jeżeli macie coś do napisania, napiszcie komentarz, dzięki temu będę wiedział, że jesteście, że wam się podoba i przede wszystkim, że chcecie, żeby tych materiałów pojawiało się więcej. Dodatkowo, jeżeli chcecie się wdzięczyć za to, co robię i podoba wam się moja praca, pamiętajcie, że możecie kliknąć w moją nazwę, wejdziecie do strony głównej mojego kanału, kliknąć opcję wesprzyj i za 2 zł, 10 albo 30 zostaniesz wspierającymi według waszej tutaj chęci i potrzeby oddania trochę tej dobroci w moją stronę. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie, trzymajcie się, do usłyszenia i życzę wam miłego dnia. Bardzo serdecznie dziękuję wszelkim wspierającym za to, że jesteście. Dziękuję tym, którzy byliście wspierającymi i dziękuję wszystkim tym, którzy po tym właśnie filmiku zdecydowaliście się na wsparcie. Przede wszystkim to nie jest tak, że wspieracie osobę, która ma tysiące widzów. Wspieracie małą społeczność, której dzięki każdej osobie z was, każdej złotówce, którą mi przelejecie, każdym 2 złotym, które jesteście wspierającymi ptasiakami, za każdą tą jedną osobę bardzo serdecznie dziękuję i za każdą tą złotówkę dziękuję, ponieważ dzięki temu po prostu mam chęci, mam motywację i przede wszystkim mam dodatkowe finanse, które pozwalają utrzymać ten kanał i utrzymać wszystko, co się wokół niego dzieje, włącznie z kosztami prądu, kosztami kupowania nowego sprzętu, kupowania nowych gier i w ogóle całego czasu, które spędzam, czy to nagrywając, czy to streamując i czy to, jeżeli w przypadku wielu sytuacji rozmawiając i wspierając osoby, które w jakiś sposób czują się gorzej. Więc moja działalność jest bardzo szeroka i cieszę się, że doceniacie ją. Jeżeli ktoś z was czuje się gorzej i chciałby ze mną porozmawiać i ma jakieś takie problemy, możecie do mnie napisać, zagadać. Wszystko na Discordzie, a link do Discorda w opisie.